The Jeffersons was a groundbreaking show that redefined television in the 1970s and 1980s, with its bold humor, unforgettable characters, and powerful representation of African American success. For over a decade, viewers laughed, cried, and grew attached to George, Louise, and the vibrant cast that surrounded them. But as the years have gone by, many of the beloved actors who brought these roles to life have sadly passed away. In this video, we take a closer look at the lives and careers of these talented stars, remembering their impact on television history and the tragic circumstances of their deaths. Isabelle Sanford was born on August 29, 1917, and played Louise Jefferson in 1975 at the age of 58. On screen, Louise, or Wheezy, was the moral compass to George's bluster, a graceful counterbalance whose quiet strength helped anchor the chaos around her. Off-screen, however, Sanford's rise was shadowed by deeply personal turmoil. Before her fame, she endured an abusive marriage she finally escaped with her 3 children, only to struggle as a single mother while working as a stage actress. While her public image was polished, insiders whispered of behind-the-scenes resentment, especially about being overshadowed by Sherman Hemsley. Some claimed she resented producers for keeping her paycheck lower than Hemsley's, despite carrying many emotional scenes. Later in life, Sanford quietly battled declining health and depression, compounded by her isolation after the show ended. She died on July 9, 2004, at 86 years old from cardiopulmonary arrest caused by heart disease, having never truly revealed the emotional weight she bore beneath her iconic smile. Roxy Roker was born on August 28, 1929, and played Helen Willis in 1975 when she was 46 years old. As one half of television's groundbreaking interracial couple, Helen was poised, intelligent, and resilient. But Roker's personal life was far more turbulent than her trailblazing image suggested. Her marriage to Cy Kravitz, father of musician Lenny Kravitz, was marked by emotional distance and allegations of infidelity. Friends claimed she endured Cy's affairs and controlling behavior for years before they divorced. She often faced discrimination from both white and black communities, a torment that fed her quiet drinking habit and long bouts of sadness. Though never publicly scandalous, Roker privately struggled with the pressure of representing progress while feeling trapped in a failing marriage. She never remarried, and her final years were marked by declining health and solitude, even as her son rose to fame. Roxy Roker died on December 2, 1995, from breast cancer at age 66, her public grace belying a life of private endurance. Sherman Hemsley was born on February 1, 1938, and took on the role of George Jefferson in 1975 at the age of 37. As George, he was loud, unfiltered, and hilariously ruthless, a working-class man turned millionaire with a chip on his shoulder and no tolerance for fools. But behind the sitcom facade was a man deeply at war with himself. Hemsley, a recluse off-camera, never married, and rumors about his sexuality swirled for decades, speculation he never addressed publicly, causing rifts with religious fans. He reportedly became addicted to gambling, often disappearing for days, and insiders claimed he could be erratic and paranoid, firing managers and alienating cast members. His deep anxiety and battles with depression often left him secluded in his El Paso home, where he was found dead in July 2012. Even in death, he stirred controversy. His body remained unburied for months due to a legal battle over his estate. Hemsley died on July 24, 2012, from complications of lung cancer, aged 74, having left behind more mystery than clarity. Franklin Cover was born on November 20, 1928, and took on the role of Tom Willis in 1975 at the age of 47. Tom was cheerful and open-minded, a character who constantly tried to bridge racial divides with awkward optimism. In contrast, Cover's real-life temperament was described by some crew members as aloof and overly intense. He was notoriously meticulous on set, often clashing with directors over minor script adjustments. Though no tabloid-worthy scandals emerged, insiders remembered him as deeply insecure, fearing he would be typecast or forgotten after the Jeffersons ended. His film career never took off, and he quietly slipped into obscurity, performing minor theater roles while battling depression. Some whispered about his bitter demeanor in his final years, and neighbors described him as friendly but withdrawn. Franklin Cover died of pneumonia on February 5, 2006, at the age of 77, largely forgotten by the industry that once celebrated his role in TV history. Zara Cully, born January 26, 1892, played Mother Jefferson in 1975 at age 83. On screen, she was the no-nonsense matriarch who constantly clashed with Louise, radiating both sass and old-school wisdom. Off-screen, her life was anything but calm. Though praised for her poise and grace, Cully had spent decades battling racism in the theater world, having been blacklisted during the McCarthy era for associating with left-wing artists. Her personal life was marked by tragedy. She lost several siblings prematurely and allegedly suffered emotional abuse in a long-term marriage she refused to discuss. Rumors circulated of her clashing fiercely with Norman Lear over line edits and cultural authenticity, though she publicly denied any tension. In her final years, she kept her lung cancer diagnosis secret from many of her castmates, continuing to work through pain and fatigue. She died on February 28, 1978, at age 86, from lung cancer. Paul Benedict was born on September 17, 1938, and joined the Jeffersons as Harry Bentley in 1975 at the age of 37. Bentley's British accent and eccentric mannerisms made him the lovable oddball next door. Off-screen, though, Benedict's life was shaped by his lifelong battle with acromegaly, a disorder that caused abnormal facial growth. The condition brought him constant stares and typecasting, which fueled a deep-rooted resentment toward Hollywood. He developed a reputation for being moody and difficult to direct, and former colleagues described his sudden shifts from warm to cold as unsettling. Despite that, he stayed largely out of scandal, though friends say he quietly suffered from alcoholism in his later years. He retreated to Martha's Vineyard, where he died alone in his home on December 1, 2008, from natural causes at age 70. His life was a paradox, outwardly cheerful in character, but privately marked by insecurity, frustration, and the physical burden of a condition that shaped his every move. Irwin Keys, born March 16, 1952, portrayed Hugo Modzelewski on The Jeffersons in 1981 at age 29. His character, a bumbling bodyguard, was far removed from Keys' real-life struggles, which were fueled by his acromegaly diagnosis in his youth. The condition, which caused his distinctive appearance, led to cruel teasing in limited roles, often relegating him to parts that highlighted his physicality rather than his talent. Keys became a cult favorite in the horror genre, but the roles he longed for in drama never came. His erratic behavior on set was often attributed to his emotional pain and frustrations with being pigeonholed. Financial struggles also plagued him, and after several failed indie ventures, he faced homelessness during the 2000s. Despite his later marriage, Keys' bitterness towards the industry and the way he was treated for his looks lingered. He died on July 8, 2015, at age 63, from complications related to acromegaly, after years of enduring chronic health issues that further deepened his personal battles. Ned Werimer, born October 27, 1923, took on the role of Ralph Hart in 1975 at age 52. The greedy but lovable doorman was a source of comic relief, but behind the scenes, Werimer was fighting to be taken seriously in Hollywood. After years on Broadway, he struggled to transition into television, often frustrated by being typecast in one-dimensional roles. Privately, he lived a life of contradiction, married to a prominent academic, Dr. Skynuku, yet reportedly engaging in discreet affairs during long production breaks. Several crew members noted his habit of belittling extras and refusing to rehearse unless his tip scenes were guaranteed airtime. Later in life, he became increasingly reclusive and paranoid, convinced younger actors were conspiring to have him written off. In 2012, a severe fall at home led to rapid health decline. He died from complications on January 2, 2013, at the age of 89. Danny Wells, born April 7, 1941, portrayed Charlie the bartender on the Jeffersons in 1975 at age 34. Charlie was the friendly, loyal figure at the bar, a go-between for all the characters, but Wells' own life was marked by internal struggles and a career that never reached the heights he dreamed of. Despite his recognition for voicing Luigi in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, Wells was frustrated with his professional trajectory. Behind the scenes, he was often overshadowed by more successful stars, and this led to a series of personal breakdowns. Whispers of financial troubles surfaced, particularly related to gambling debts he tried to conceal. Wells also had a complicated relationship with a married executive in the industry, which caused further emotional turmoil. Known for keeping his personal life private, his later years were marked by frustration at the lack of substantial roles. He died on November 28, 2013, at age 72, after a prolonged battle with cancer, though the exact cause was never publicly revealed. Mike Evans, born November 3, 1949, was 26 when he originated the role of Lionel Jefferson in 1975. Lionel was witty, progressive, and the voice of reason, qualities Evans shared but struggled to maintain as fame overtook him. Though co-creator of Good Times, Evans was quietly ousted after disagreements over the show's political tone and perceived whitewashing by producers. Professionally burned and resentful, he withdrew from acting and spiraled into self-isolation. He never married, though sources claim he had volatile relationships and fathered children he later distanced himself from. Reports of a drinking problem circulated in the 1990s, coinciding with his rare public appearances and disheveled demeanor. Some colleagues described him as bitter and emotionally unreachable. In his later years, he was living in near obscurity in California when he succumbed to throat cancer on December 14, 2006, at the age of 57. Jason Bernard, born on May 17, 1938, portrayed Lloyd Tyndall in The Jeffersons in 1983 at the age of 45. Tyndall was a stern, no-nonsense character, known for his sharp authority. While Bernard played the part with a sense of conviction, his own life was anything but authoritative. His career seemed like it was always on the verge of a major breakthrough, but it was marred by a series of missed opportunities. Despite his impressive roles in films like War Games and Liar Liar, Bernard struggled to secure leading roles. Off-screen, his behavior grew erratic, whispers of on-set tantrums and conflicts with co-stars became part of the conversation. Bernard's personal life was turbulent as well. His marriage collapsed under the strain of his growing temper and difficulty with fame, and he was never able to mend his relationships with his children, who distanced themselves from him as he grew more reclusive. His tragic death on October 16, 1996 at 58 from a heart attack left a bitter taste in the mouths of many who had hoped for more from him. Stefan Jurash, born February 5, 1926, portrayed Alan West in The Jeffersons in 1983, at the age of 57. West was a complex character, often shifting between authority and vulnerability, mirroring Jurash's own turbulent life. Known for his roles in Jeremiah Johnson and Carrie, Jurash's career was nothing short of impressive. However, behind the polished exterior of his professional achievements, Jurash's personal life was fraught with strife. His marriage, though long-lasting, was overshadowed by his secretive affairs and an almost obsessive pursuit of fame that put a strain on his family. The actor was frequently absent from his children's lives, a result of his focus on his career and, some say, his own insecurities. His late career was marked by a sense of regret as he became more reclusive. Jurash's later years saw him battling depression, and rumors swirled that he had turned to alcohol to cope with the overwhelming isolation. Despite his success, his personal life was a grim reminder of the cost of ambition. He died on September 6, 2014 at the age of 88 from complications following a stroke. Al Harrington, born December 12, 1935, played the charismatic Leon Caniculo in The Jeffersons in 1980 at the age of 45. His character was beloved for his charm and smooth demeanor, yet Harrington's own life was far from smooth. While his portrayal of Caniculo earned him fan adoration, his career saw its share of struggles. By the time he joined The Jeffersons, Harrington's earlier roles in Hawaii Five-0 were fading from memory, and the pressures of aging in Hollywood began to show. Off-screen, Harrington's battles with alcohol were well known, and his reputation as a volatile personality grew. Relationships that seemed promising often ended in public debacles, and his first marriage ended in a nasty divorce that splashed across tabloids. His addiction became his greatest enemy, creating distance between him and the industry. By the time he passed away on September 21, 2021 at 85, he had become somewhat of an outcast, living in isolation after years of failed recovery. His death from a stroke, though tragic, was a reflection of the toll that years of self-destructive behavior had taken on his body and spirit. Greg Morris, born September 27, 1933, played Jimmy's cousin in The Jeffersons in 1983 at the age of 50. Morris was a skilled actor, known for his work on Mission Impossible, but his role as Jimmy's cousin in The Jeffersons marked a low point in his career. His personal life was even more tragic, plagued by addiction and failed relationships. Morris, once a rising star, had difficulty finding roles that matched his early success, and his decline was swift. Behind the scenes, he struggled with a prescription pill addiction, which worsened over time. His wife left him after years of growing tension, and rumors of his erratic behavior on set began to spread. His relationship with his children became strained as he descended further into isolation and despair. His health deteriorated rapidly after being diagnosed with cancer, and it was clear that the actor had few close relationships left by the time of his death. He passed away on August 27, 1996 at 62, his final years spent battling cancer and the regrets of a life lived in self-destructive patterns, forever haunted by the fame he once held but could never fully grasp. Susie Garrett, born December 29, 1929, portrayed Amanda in The Jeffersons in 1984 at the age of 55. Her character was kind and supportive, a stark contrast to the personal demons Garrett faced in her life. Known for her bubbly, charming personality on screen, Garrett's off-screen life was marked by a constant battle with alcoholism, which began in the early stages of her career. As her drinking worsened, it affected her personal relationships and caused erratic behavior on set. Several of her marriages ended in bitterness, and her children grew distant, disillusioned by her addiction. Despite her career successes, including her role in Punky Brewster, Garrett became increasingly isolated. Behind her kind, supportive on-screen persona, she was hiding a life in turmoil. Her battle with cancer in her later years was compounded by her health problems stemming from years of addiction. Garrett passed away on May 24, 2002 at the age of 72, leaving a trail of broken relationships and the tragic memory of a woman who could never fully reconcile her public and private selves. Barry Ingham, born February 10, 1932, played Captain Marshall Monahan in The Jeffersons in 1982 at the age of 50. Monahan was an authoritative character, but Ingham's own life was filled with contradictions. While his career spanned decades with respected roles, including his work in The Great Mouse Detective, his personal life remained cloaked in mystery. Ingham's marriage was marked by secrecy, and rumors about infidelities and strained relationships circulated in the industry. His professional reputation was occasionally tarnished by stories of late arrivals to shoots and clashes with directors over his interpretations of roles. While not publicly scandalous, his behavior raised eyebrows among colleagues. Ingham's later years were marked by a quiet retreat from the public eye, and those who knew him described a man struggling with isolation. His death on January 23, 2015 at 82 was met with little fanfare, and the details of his life remained somewhat obscured, leaving behind a legacy defined more by whispers than accolades. Russell Johnson, born November 10, 1924, played the role of Max Steele in The Jeffersons in 1982 at the age of 58. Known to many as the beloved professor from Gilligan's Island, Johnson brought his calm demeanor and intellect to the role of Mac, a smart, resourceful character who occasionally showed a gruff side. However, beyond his screen persona, Johnson's career was marred by a series of unfortunate setbacks. Despite his fame, he struggled to maintain leading roles after Gilligan's Island's end, with many later projects receiving lukewarm reception. Johnson's personal life wasn't as stable as his career would suggest. Behind the scenes, he was known to be a difficult actor to work with, sometimes clashing with directors over minor details. Though he avoided public scandals, his late career lacked the excitement his earlier years promised. The actor eventually succumbed to kidney failure on January 16, 2014 at 89, his decline shadowed by years of quiet struggle after his public success. Bernard Fox, born May 11, 1927, portrayed Andrew Derrick in The Jeffersons in 1982 at the age of 55. Andrew Derrick, a bumbling yet endearing character, was a sharp contrast to Fox's own troubled life. Though known for his roles in Bewitched and Hogan's Heroes, Fox's personal life was riddled with struggles. His addiction to alcohol was no secret, and as the years wore on, his behavior became increasingly erratic. He was known for short-tempered outbursts and an inability to maintain relationships, leading to multiple failed marriages. His drinking escalated, and the actor found himself isolated from the Hollywood community that once embraced him. Rumors of debts, failed investments, and even whispers of gambling surfaced in his later years, but Fox's demons were often swept under the rug. By the time of his death on December 14, 2016 at 89, Fox had become a reclusive figure, and while his death was attributed to heart failure, many believe that the years of personal struggles and excess had ultimately taken their toll on him. Victor Killian, born March 6, 1891, portrayed Uncle Bertram in The Jeffersons in 1975 at the age of 84. Killian's character was gruff and authoritative, much like the actor himself. Killian's career, however, was far from simple, as he became embroiled in the blacklist scandal during the 1950s for his left-wing political beliefs. This blacklisting marred his career for years and caused significant tension within his personal life. In the years that followed, Killian found it difficult to secure meaningful roles, and he began to live in isolation, his bitterness over his professional fall from grace seeping into his personal relationships. Tragically, his life ended not by old age, but by murder. Killian was killed in a brutal attack in his apartment on March 11, 1979 at 88, a crime that shocked the Hollywood community. His murder remains a topic of speculation and intrigue, as some believe it was a crime tied to his political past, while others suspect it was a robbery gone wrong. Either way, Killian's life ended in a mysterious, violent manner that added another dark chapter to his already complex story. Larry Lynville, born on September 29, 1939, portrayed Lyle Block in The Jeffersons in 1981 at the age of 42. Known for playing Major Frank Burns on MASH*, Lynville brought a similar uptight energy to his portrayal of Lyle. Yet, his off-screen life was deeply troubled. His rise to fame on MASH* was followed by a series of personal crises, including a string of failed marriages and a notorious affair that caused public scandal. Lynville's depression, which he tried to mask with humor and charm, was well documented, but few knew the extent of his emotional struggles. The actor was known for his erratic behavior, often alienating friends and colleagues with his mood swings and severe isolation. His career suffered as he struggled with being typecast and unable to break free from the shadow of Frank Burns. His personal battles with depression, combined with financial troubles, left him a deeply lonely figure. Lynville passed away on April 10, 2000 from pneumonia due to complications from cancer surgery at the age of 60, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential and sorrowful introspection. Peter Aangelo, born on August 13, 1948, played guard in the Jeffersons in 1983 at the age of 35. His character was brief but memorable, leaving an impression with his tough, no-nonsense approach. Aangelo's life, however, was anything but smooth. Known for his role in Fight Club, Aangelo's career was full of peaks and valleys. What few knew was that he battled severe substance abuse issues and was often embroiled in violent incidents that led to him being blacklisted from key Hollywood circles. His personal relationships were marked by chaos, with many colleagues describing him as temperamental and difficult to work with. This strained his career and contributed to his eventual relegation to minor roles. His personal tragedies continued into his later years, as his struggles with addiction deepened. Despite keeping his life relatively private, his death on November 17, 2021 at 73 was the tragic end to a man whose career and personal life had been filled with emotional and professional turbulence. Davis Roberts, born on March 7, 1917, portrayed Carl in the Jeffersons in 1976 at the age of 59. Known for his roles in Westworld and Star Trek, Roberts' portrayal of the distinguished Carl was in stark contrast to his personal life. Off-screen, he was known to be a solitary figure, but the reality of his personal relationships was far more tragic. His marriage was troubled, often plagued by public spats and accusations of neglect and emotional abuse. Though Roberts was admired for his professional demeanor, he was emotionally distant and had a fractured relationship with his children, leading to his estrangement from many in his personal life. His battle with emphysema added to his woes, and his health quickly declined. Roberts' inability to reconcile his personal relationships and his growing isolation led to an untimely end, and his death on July 18, 1993 at the age of 76 was a final reminder of the deep struggles he faced privately, despite his outwardly successful career. William Bogurt, born on January 25, 1936, played Frank Miller in the Jeffersons in 1978 at the age of 42. While Bogart's portrayal of Frank was as authoritative as it was memorable, his personal life was marked by frequent scandals and personal crises. Known for roles in War Games and Dog Day Afternoon, Bogart's career was often overshadowed by rumors of gambling problems that caused financial strain and constant tension in his personal life. His struggles with alcohol also became a public issue, with colleagues noting his mood swings and inability to meet commitments on set. His marriages were marked by volatility, and there were reports of heated arguments and infidelity that made him a difficult figure to work with. Bogart's career and personal life suffered as a result of these issues, and his reputation in Hollywood took a significant hit. He died on January 12, 2020 at the age of 83, but his final years were largely quiet, marked by the legacy of unfulfilled potential and personal struggles. Who's your favorite character in the Jeffersons? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.